Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Perfectly Good Podcast, the only podcast on the internet where we are counting down every John Hyatt song from A to Z. I am one of your hosts, Jesse Jackson, and putting jam on our biscuits is my good friend Sylvan. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing well. And as a born Southerner, yeah, absolutely. I can make a gosh darn good biscuit, and lots of stuff in this song resonates on that end.
Yes, it is. Yeah, tonight we are talking. I am almost fed up with the blues. And this should be a fun one. You want to give us some facts?
I would love to. This is track number 6 from Beneath This Gruff Exterior, which was the very first album released on New West Records, which John is still with today, which I was a little blown away about how long he'd been with New West because, as we know, John has had kind of a tumultuous relationship with many record labels. This goes back to 2003. And at the time I reached out to New West, they were really excited about John joining them. It was the first time I ever actually got an official press kit, which made me very excited. And
Ooh.
yeah, I forget exactly what it was, but the press secretary reached out to me and said, "Could you drive some traffic to this website where they're, talking about John?" And I said, "Oh, can I ever?" Thank you for asking. But that's a little bit on the periphery. As far as the song itself, this is John and the Goners. It's the only album that went under that title as opposed to John Hyatt. And then the backing band you have to dig a little bit deeper for. Um, so we've got Sonny Landreth on that very bluesy guitar that we all know and love. And I had completely forgotten, but the CD I got, and this wasn't because I was bugging the record company, but it was a 2 disc case where there was actually a demo version of this song that was just 2 track, John on his own, kind of laying it out what he thought the song should sound like. And I was a little surprised that I had forgotten about it because I really love that stripped down version of John's music so much. So I really enjoyed listening to that again. There's also a lot of bootleg live versions of this because John really has a lot of fun when he records this. I have this image of him, you know, really stretching out the ending and like just jamming on his guitar and kicking his leg up into the air and just, really getting into the groove. So, really great song.
Yeah, this is a fun song, especially considering, the title. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know if I've ever asked you this. I don't think I have. Why do you think, or do you know why this album he included the Goners, but normally he doesn't?
Great question. And I don't know the answer. I remember asking myself
Hmm.
and looking into it a little bit. I don't know if it was because he was at this kind of place where he was making a shift to a new label and kind of reconnecting with Sonny Landreth and
Hmm.
everybody. Um, but I don't know. Could
Yeah,
be anything.
because I know, once again, take a drink. Bruce Springsteen sometimes records with the E Street Band, and then other times he doesn't. He does with just either studio musicians, or nowadays with electronic, his producer can play, 2 guys can play almost all the instruments. But then when it's performed live, and I do think that when I think of John nowadays, I tend to think of this band with him when he is recording, and when he's touring. The
Yeah.
last time I saw him, he was with them, and they seem to be having a really good time touring together. So just curious, I didn't know if you had any insight.
I don't, as far as the band goes. There is a nice little backstory about him joining New West.
Okay, please.
Well, I am taking this right from Mike Elliott's book. So anyone who hasn't gotten that, I once again recommend that. Um, Cameron Strang was the head of New West Records and had been a fan of John's long before founding the label. So he, I think, I'm reading between the lines, but it really kind of sounded like this was a passion for Mr. Strang. And thank you for
Yes.
the many albums that have come since. That he wanted to bring John on board and let him just do his thing. So this album was also produced by John, I believe. And uh, yes, it was produced by Don Smith and John Hyatt and the Goners is the official credit. Um, I'm not going to go too into the weeds that because I'm not a musician. I don't know a lot about how a record is made, but I do feel that the proof is in the pudding that when there is someone else credited as producer, with a few exceptions, John is pushed a little bit beyond his comfort zone and the results are a little bit stronger. So I love this album. It's always going to hold a special place in my heart, but I also listen to it and feel like maybe there's a little bit of polishing up, maybe there's a little bit of tweaking and going in a different direction that could bring it to a different place. What do
Did
you think?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point because um there sometimes in Bruce talks a lot about this that he and the band it's 1 + 1 = 3,
Mhm.
that together Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band is more than just
Some of the
separate,
parts.
right?
Yes.
And so the idea that having an outside influence, um because there are a lot of musicians that produce their own albums, but if you find out more and more, it seems like they usually have that outside influence, that
Mhm.
person to say, hey, why don't we try this, why do we do that? Um and I like the idea that your feeling is, okay, maybe they're pushing this a little bit. Maybe they can give him a, well, why don't we try this and do that and just make it a little bit better. That's interesting. I like it a lot.
And I think it's really telling if you listen to the demo and then
Yeah.
the official version
Hmm.
back to back that it's a pretty straight ahead, we've just added a little bit more
Hmm.
sound behind it. There's
Yeah.
some lead guitar instead of just the rhythm guitar and, more full drum sounds.
Hmm.
But, it's really interesting because it's that, when you buy your concert tickets, do you want to hear John all by himself or in those duet partnerships where he was touring with just Davy Fairher for a while?
Hmm.
Or do you want to see John Hyatt and the Goners with the full band playing out and
Right.
interacting? And both are a lot of fun. And this song in particular, there's the tradition of the solo blues guitarist sitting on the corner with just himself, or,
Hmm.
going back to the Robert Johnson era blues musician, just a man and a guitar. Um, so, like, I almost felt a little bit like a traitor that I kind of felt like maybe I would rate the demo version slightly higher than the album version.
Hmm.
I didn't make a strong decision about that, but it it's more intimate. And, when we're talking about uh almost fed up with the blues, it's an intimate type of conversation, like someone who's about to give up. And, what's also kind of funny about this song is that if you look at the lyrics on face value, it's pretty darn depressing, but that is not how it comes across at all.
Right. And it's, we'll get to when we start breaking down the song, but I agree. And I love the idea of which one you prefer. When I started the set listing Bruce, he had just toured with we called it the E Street Band Orchestra. There was the core E Street Band, but Clarence had just died. And so they had a horn section. So they had 4 horns. They had a percussion section, not just Max on drums. And they had like 3 or 4 backup singers. And so instead of just the set E Street Band, which is a big band to begin with, it was this full sound. And I would ask my guests, which one do you prefer? I have seen this last time I saw John was with the Goners. It was House of Blues. It was a great show, a great set list. But the 2 times before, it was on his solo tour, where it was just him and the guitar coming out. And it's like saying, do you want seafood or steak? Right? It just depends. It is, because I loved both. There was an intimacy to him just sitting there with his guitar and singing and playing. And it feels like he's in your living room. And
Right.
he says, here, let me
And he's
play this
having a
for you.
conversation with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And it is funny that I don't know as this song has ever shown up when he's done the solo
Right,
acoustic tour.
right.
So maybe he decided that no, this is a song that's all about having fun with a group of people.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little too depressing all by yourself.
Yeah. Now, I am someone who uh solos go I am very quickly done with long extended solos, whether it's a drum solo, whether it's a long guitar solo. I am normally about vocals and lyrics. And so this reaches just the point to me where like, okay, yep, that's enough to move on. Here we go.
I
And
bet if you were watching him dance, you'd feel differently though.
I bet you might be right. And I probably also the crowd getting into it. Yeah, the energy of it. Because it is and so let's get into it, right? I'm almost fed up with the blues. I wake up with my head in hand, wish I was another man because I'm almost fed up with the blues. I think about the kitchen sink, then I just shudder to think because I'm almost fed up with the blues. So what do you think this song is about?
I think it's actually almost a, a, a tease about the traditional blues song.
Hmm.
It's um a woman, a car, and a banknote due. I'm going to leave
Hmm.
that up to you. He's listing all those things that typically come, whether the joke is a country song or a blues song.
Yeah.
What do you get when you play it backwards? You get your car back, your woman back,
Yes.
blah blah blah.
Hmm.
um and then he's also just saying, well, I'm almost fed up with it. Like, I'm almost bored with this. Can't we get
Hmm.
over the talking about how sad we
Yeah.
are just in the middle of a song? And but all the usual suspects. I'm almost fed up with the blues. One little detail that comes up in the demo version that I don't hear, and I was listening for it in the final, is he kind of does this kind of like uh over talk of, well, you notice I said almost, and
Yes.
a wink wink, joke, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still here, I'm still singing the blues, and I'm not going to
Hmm.
give it up.
Yeah.
um Yeah, I mean, even the jam on my biscuit, that to me sounds like a little wink, wink, nod, nudge, nudge of like, don't take me too seriously. I'm still going to have a decent breakfast, even if I'm not feeling all that great today. What do you think, Jesse?
Well, yeah, if these blues don't stop hurting me, it's curtains for my misery because I'm almost fed up with the blues. Might get a job or join a club because, buddy, I've whittled it down to the nub because I'm almost fed up with the blues. Um, the what I got listening to it is this idea that I music brings me such joy, and
Mhm.
and because of how life is right now, I've almost given up the blues, right? Like I'm
Right.
still gonna do the blues, but um um and once again, I really am sorry to do this, listeners, but there is a line in The Wish, and Springsteen, it's a song he wrote about his mother, and he says, I'm sitting in the kitchen, I'm taking request, mom, but if it's a sad song, I'm not going to do it. As in, I'm not here to sing sad songs. I'm here to sing happy songs because of where we're at. And I think John will always play sad songs, and they will
Absolutely.
do, but I also think um if we go back to Ronnie Millsap, right? Nobody likes sad songs,
Right.
and he is saying, I'm almost done with the blues. Right now, I want to shout with joy. I want to rock and roll. I want to share the passion I have with life. And he does it with a very clever way that, of course, I'm known as a blues man and I know that's it, but I also life's pretty good for me right now. And I'm
Yeah.
making music, I'm enjoying myself. So I'm still going to play the blues every once in a while, but I'm feeling pretty good. I'm happy.
Right. Yeah. So I have a couple of quotes that I think also kind of tell us where he was coming from with
Okay.
writing this song. John, and these are taken from two different interviews. He said, I still like being miserable. It traps you and it sets you free at the same time. So exactly
Ooh,
what you were just saying, Jesse,
yeah.
that like you can just kind of get fed up with it and like, oh, I just can't escape this down feeling. But then at the same time, it's like, but I can just lean into it and say, yeah, I'm feeling the blues. If it don't
Hmm.
kill me, it thrills me,
Yeah.
as the line goes. And then he also, very tongue in cheek, says, it fills out 12 bars of music and helps me make my car payments.
Yeah.
So, if you don't have anything that you're miserable about, how on earth are you going to write another song and get that
Yeah.
paycheck for your royalties?
Uh, Gosh, that is very insightful. And to hear that, um, the idea that I, I, yes, it helps pay my bills. Yes, it's helped me, pay my car note, but there's also this other side of this joy that I have. And I do
Mhm.
think a lot of times, um, I love I love when John is being happy,
Mhm.
and um you can get trapped singing the blues and into not embracing what's making you happy. So yeah, I think that's a really, really good thought.
Yeah, and we've all had those moments where, like, I'm such a big blues music fan, but then every once in a while, it's like, oh God,
Yeah.
I can't listen to this anymore.
Yeah.
Where's the bubblegum pop?
Yeah.
Where's the walking on sunshine or whatever you want to kind of lift
Yeah.
you up for a second?
All right, so your homework, if you're a John Hyatt fan, is to go to YouTube, go to Spotify, and pull up Hello Sunshine by Bruce Springsteen. Take a drink. It says, had enough of heartache, break, and pain. I had a little sweet spot for the rain and skies of gray. Hello, sunshine, won't you stay? You know, I always like my walking shoes, but you can get a little too fond of the blues. You walk too far, you walk away. Hello, sunshine, won't you stay? Um,
Well, that would be a lovely little set on a,
yeah,
radio. Yeah.
yeah, because the idea, right, that I I I think you're exactly right. He's saying, let's not dwell into this, the blues part of this, and he's doing it, I feel, very tongue in cheek.
Mhm.
It comes across, and I did watch a couple of these on YouTube, and it does seem like he is having a blast when they perform this.
Mhm.
I mean, he is
Absolutely.
truly enjoying himself. I did not get to see this live, and I would love to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Hmm. How about you? Now, you said you've been able to see him perform this?
Yeah, and it does seem that it's not one that, he only played when he was supporting this album, which again, we're going all the way back to 2003. I feel
Yeah.
like I've seen him within the past couple of years
Hmm.
play this, and he loves just going off on the duet with the lead guitarist, whether it's Sonny Landreth. I'm pretty sure I've seen Doug Lancio perform this with him, and they just, go back and forth. And John does a lick, and they do a lick, and he kicks up in the air and dances all around and gets everyone uh, cheering along with the
It
chorus.
This is kind of a flip side to Perfectly Good Guitar, that
Mm-hmm.
sense of joy, that love about music. And that would be another good pairing to have,
Yeah,
yeah, him do that
absolutely.
live and then do this, or this one first and then go into Perfectly Good Guitar. Um, I tweeted today, as we're recording this. This episode will be out in a few weeks. But I Jake Thistle, I think, is the guy that was doing a very nice cover of that. Was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Jake is so awesome. All right. First of all, yes, absolutely go and look at Jake's version of Almost Fed Up with the Blues. Jake has done a lot of John Hyatt songs. And once you've done that, uh, go and find the video of Jake performing Have a Little Faith in Me with John, because I still tear up when I think of that, because John invited Jake on stage and was just kind of hanging back and encouraging him. I feel like he was 12 years old at the time or something like
Gosh,
that.
yeah,
And it is an amazing video. And it just it shows everything about who John is as someone who's just encouraging music. And yeah, Jake is so great, and he does so many wonderful covers of John and Tom Petty and so many great artists, and I can't wait to see where he ends up as a songwriter. So
yeah, I think
thousand
so
percent.
too. Yeah, that was really good. Um, the other thing, I this is an optimistic song. I get up, they knock me down again, but what are you going to do,
Mm-hmm,
my friend? This is I'm they may have taken my dog and stolen my
mm-hmm,
car and everything, but that's okay.
mm-hmm,
Um, my friend, I have a friend who, Sarah Hickman, was very early in her music career. They said that they reminded her early work was Joni Mitchell, but happy. Like,
mm-hmm.
instead of going, yeah, he dumped me, but that's all right. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna
Yeah.
bounce back pretty soon. And this was that. I'm like, yeah, I got the blues, but you know what? It's okay.
Yep.
I've still got my family. I've still got the guitar, and I'm gonna keep making music.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. Anything else we need to cover on this one?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Uh, I'm. I guess I'll go first. I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Oh, wow. Okay. Um,
And
so
I
I
was
was
gonna give it
reminded.
a 3, but you convinced me to give it a half a point up.
And meanwhile, I am thinking to myself, reminding myself of the scale that we're working with,
Yes.
that you know, what I have kind of said for a 2-star song is like, yeah, absolutely, it's a good song, but you remind yourself that we're talking about John Hyatt.
Right.
And so that's why I'm gonna go with the 2.
Okay.
Um, that it's a great song, but there's so many better. And I think the fact that he does like really take it to another level live kind
Hmm.
of explains that to me, that like maybe it just didn't quite get where it needed to go either in the demo or in the production version. And it's, all the stuff that we look for is there in the songwriting, but it's a little too clever. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah,
It's
no,
it's
I get
not
that.
that pure emotion that I'm really looking for when I say that this is the best of the best of John's songs. So
Nice. I like that. You talked me up, and then so very nice. Good.
I
Um,
giveth and I taketh away.
no, that is awesome. I love this. All right. So I am on Twitter at Jesse Jackson DFW. You can find me on Facebook for now, Jesse Jackson. Sylvan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Sylvan Groff and Twitter at Sylvan Green Eyes.
All
We
right.
would love to hear from you.
Yes, there is we have our Facebook page. You can find us on Twitter at Perfectly Good PD. And we have a voicemail 469-249-2442 and perfectly good podcast at gmail.com. We are making our ways through the A's. There is a document online that if they can see when we are planning to talk to someone, and we'd love more voices to join us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, give us feedback on, yes, you liked our discussion. You want to tell me to quit talking about Bruce? I get you. I understand. Uh, I'm thinking that right now. And but also we'd love to have someone join us if there is a song coming up that you're passionate about and you want to share the story behind it, what you're thinking about it. We would love to hear you. So,
Absolutely.
yep.
It's all about what each song means to each of us. And Jesse and I are just having a great time, but I think we could have an even better time if you joined us.
I absolutely agree with that. All right. So as we're recording this, pull back the curtain, it is Thanksgiving week. So by the time this comes out, we'll be in the middle of December. But in the meantime, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas if you celebrate. If not, just enjoy the holiday season. And we will be back in a week to talk another song.
Yes, we will. Happy
And
Thanksgiving. And I
yes.
am so thankful for all of this music and for you, Jesse.
Well, I am so thankful for you. I am so glad that you joined me on this journey. We are hand in hand having fun, and
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. So, everyone, have a little faith.
Have a little faith.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Baby, we can come on home.